the Spin That Back spoiler review of Predestination. So we have a link down below to our quick review. So if you haven't seen the movie yet or haven't seen that review, go watch it, come back, and then check us out, and you can join us here as we discuss the plot and what we thought of Predestination.
That shit's crazy, man. At the end, you find out that all these characters are actually the same person. And I don't know. When I first saw that, I mean, at the very end, when you see Ethan Hawke, he has those scars on his body. That's when you realize that him and Jane and John are actually all like the same person. At that point is when I realized, damn, I gotta go back and watch this again. Little by little, you just kind of start seeing hints. You remember with the baby? Eventually, you find out that John gets Jane pregnant, which is actually the same person. They have the baby, and then this is when Ethan Hawke's character takes the baby back, and it just kind of starts everything all over.
Yeah, you start seeing that loop come together, which is the whole idea behind the predestination paradox. In a time travel movie, there's always there's gonna be some sort of twist. You know, that moment when the rug gets pulled out from under your feet. And you can see it start building towards something as it starts getting towards the end of the movie. Even when the movie was over, I kind of we're watching it together, and I kind of turned to him and remember, first thing I said, I'm like, what the hell just happened?
One of those moments where you're like, oh shit, like.
Yeah, it was like one of those Sixth Sense moments where you get to the end and you realize he was. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen it,
you fucked it up. The second time, I guess, watching it, when I realized the whole time the bartender going back to take out the fizzle bomber changed the outcome of the timeline, right? It's already predestined for him to, kind of end up where he's at the end, but it's just like no matter he tried going back to kill the fizzle bomber. This is when we see John get his face burned off, right?
Yeah.
And then he hands him over the briefcase, and then John travels through time. And that's when he gets the reconstructive surgery done on his face, and then that's when he looks like the bartender, who was played by Ethan Hawke. That was like the really I guess the part in the movie where everything kind of started to make sense as far as
yeah.
You see all these different people meet in one timeline and just getting all tied together. Where we see John, that's when he gets his face burned off, and then he gets a reconstructive surgery. But then we see the bartender come in and try to change something. But no matter what, the fizzle bomber will always, end up killing those people. Which at the end of the movie, we realize that he is the fizzle bomber. What does he tell him at the end when he shows up at the laundromat?
He says that if you kill me, then you're gonna become me.
At least me, when I was watching it, I was like, okay, well, just don't, kill him. But I guess no matter what, his instinct is to just, because he's been looking for him for so long.
Yeah.
He just wants to kill him. We didn't go over the whole, how he travels so much through the time.
It's kind of what makes him get a screw loose and become the fizzle bomber. When you jump a lot of years all at once, that has an effect on you as well.
When the bartender goes back for John, then they do a jump over 20 years.
Yeah.
And that kind of had a really strong effect on him just because he had never done it before. And then that was a really big leap in time. All these leaps in the timeline have this effect on the character. And I don't know, I think it was really cool seeing how Jane, there was something different about her when she was at the school.
For that space program.
This is where Noah Taylor's character recruits her, the leading scientist in the whole experiment, and how they were running these tests on these women.
Definitely Sarah Snook's performance. I'm hoping somebody sees her in this movie and cast her in some upcoming features, because she definitely stole the show, playing herself as a man and a woman. Makeup department as well in the movie. It was awesome how they. I really thought it was a guy. I thought she looked so much like a guy.
Yeah, the makeup was done very well, and when you see her, it's kind of hard to believe that it's the same person, So they did a really good job with the makeup.
Yeah, and then we're talking back to the plot. In any time travel movie, there's always plot holes. There's always going to be little sort of inconsistencies, little things that require a bigger leap of logic than normal. Was there anything that really stuck out that kind of didn't make sense, or?
I don't know. I guess as I was watching it, there were a couple of points in the film. The whole part with when John runs into Jane for the first. Well, when we first see it, because this happens early on in the film, but when we actually see it from John's perspective, and how he runs into Jane. And I guess originally you don't really see how when they start talking, but at this point we kind of see it from his perspective. And I just thought, I just thought it was a little weird how he already knew
what was going to happen.
Well, because he knew he was going to go back in time, because what the bartender tells him is that he gives him the opportunity to kill the person that got her pregnant as a woman, because that basically, I mean, that's kind of what ruined her life, you know, because like she fell in love with this person, and then he got her pregnant, and then he left her, and then she had the baby, and then she just that's when her whole life kind of started, just it just completely turned around. That's when the doctors had to reconstruct her. That's when she became a man, and then they took her baby, and then it just her whole life kind of went to shit from there. You know, she was just really depressed and more than anything angry, I guess. So John, at this point, was going back to kill the person. So then I was thinking to myself, he's going back to kill the person. He knows because the bartender told him to not interact with anyone, right? Isn't that what he tells him? He says to
Yeah,
not.
that's one of the rules is that you can't mess too much with the timeline that you jump to.
Yeah, and so I mean, knowing that, he kind of went back, I guess, in a way, shouldn't have talked to Jane at that point, but he still did. But I don't know. I thought that was a little, but I guess
Yeah.
more than anything, it was just the second viewing I kind of realized that okay, well, it's kind of hard for him because he was in that situation as Jane, and he knew what it felt like to never have a family, to never be loved by anyone, and then run into somebody like that
Yeah.
and be turned down. I guess it just more than anything, I guess from like an emotional perspective, it kind of made John kind of go that route. But I mean, that's just very minor. I mean, that's like one of the few. There's a couple other parts in the movie. I can't really think of any right now, but um,
Yeah.
besides that, I mean, I think just go with it. Like just
Yeah, I mean it's a time travel movie. I mean that's gonna
science
happen. I mean
fiction.
it's yeah. I mean so just like you said, just go with it and see where it takes you.
What did confuse me a little bit as well. Remember that scene when he jumps? Supposedly he's like retiring in his the violin case. What does it say? Decommission, right?
Decommissioned.
Like why is it that it just completely just went out? That's I don't know. I guess maybe I didn't understand that the first time because he had exceeded the amount of jumps, or is it because that was as far?
No, because I guess technically his mission wasn't over.
Is that why he
Because
said
in the
that?
past he jumped to the future, but then remember he finds
Oh,
the file. He finds the file
for the fizzle
that leads
bomber,
him to
right?
the fizzle
That leads him
bomber. So
to
I guess
where, yeah.
technically his mission's not over.
Oh, okay. Oh, now see now that shit. Now I understand it more because at that point it's like, okay, you're not done yet because in order for all of this to occur the way that it's occurring, you still have to go and kill
Well, at
yourself.
least that's the way that I took it.
Yeah, I guess that makes a lot of sense, but I guess every person
Well,
that
I mean
views it kind of
that's the way that I kind of viewed it.
yeah. So
But yeah, like we said, I mean, said like there's like in any time travel movie, there's always things that are gonna stick out, maybe not make so much sense, but it's a time travel movie. So just go along with it and write it out. And yeah, I mean, this is a really dope movie. Only the second movie now from the Spierig brothers. Daybreakers previously, and now this. Sounds cliche to say, but I really want to see what they're gonna do next. Maybe it'll be another movie with Ethan Hawke in the next one. But the thing that I like is that I don't want to say their movies are high concept, but they at least take because Daybreakers, if you haven't seen it, it's in essence a vampire movie, and I'm not vampires is not really my thing, but they had a cool sort of twist. I don't want to give too much of that plot away either if you haven't seen it, but definitely check that out. If you like this one, then go back and watch Daybreakers. It's not as well made as Predestination is, but it's really good.
one thing that I kind of wanted to touch up on was like, I mean, the reason
Bitch, I
why
wasn't done. Why you interrupt me,
bitch
asshole?
will keep going. That bitch will just cut this part out. Go.
So the thing I like about the Spirit Brothers is that they take a typical sort of plot. Like I said, there was a vampire movie, and then now this is a time travel movie, and things that we've seen, but they sort of put like a new spin on it, do something kind of
Yeah.
clever with it. And I mean, like I said, because I'm not even a vampire guy, and Daybreakers was it sort of starts to unravel a little bit towards the end, but the idea, the premise behind it is really cool. And this, I mean, while it's not an original script, I mean, still the fact that they were able to take it and expand it from a short story into an hour and a half movie and make it that compelling, I think is really cool. So definitely, hopefully, Hollywood will keep an eye out on the Spierig brothers because they're really talented, especially when you see how much they've grown as a filmmaker. So yeah, it should be fun to see what they do with their next movie. Hopefully, it'll be another spin on a sort of plot or idea or
Yeah.
concept
Well,
that we've seen before.
well, that's one thing that I don't know. It's I mean that's why I like science fiction so much. 'Cause I'm a big science fiction fan, but it's just like kind of, at liberty to just be more creative with the whole process, as far as like what you said, just kind of getting some ideas that have already been done, but just kind of expanding them and just having your own twist on it, which is what what I think we both and everybody loved about Looper. That's
Yeah.
another time travel movie where like we haven't really seen this side of the whole time travel aspect and what can be done with it, and it's really cool on this. Like I know it was an adaptation of a novel, but either way, just the way that you translated it onto screen, it was still done very well to see a fresh take on it, and it just I don't know. That's what I really like about science fiction. You can
Even
just
Edge of
take
Tomorrow was sort of the same way. That was
yeah,
adapted. That was adapted from a graphic novel
yeah,
too.
but like again, like with that, like you can take something that's been done before and just kind of rework it and have it feel fresh. And at the same time, it's a really cool idea and something that I think almost anybody watching it will enjoy it.
So there's definitely room to make movies with plots, ideas, concepts that we've seen before, and like you said, make it feel fresh and brand new. And it's always cool, like when you go into a movie thinking, "Oh, it's gonna be another, it's gonna be another typical action movie, typical, whatever kind of movie." And as it starts to go along, you see you're like, "Oh, this is something kind of different. This is
Yeah.
something kind of like like you said, fresh, brand new. Makes you look at you from makes you look at it from a new perspective."
I don't think we've ever seen the movie where, well, at least Shalna, maybe there's because I haven't seen like I know there's still some time travel films that I need to watch, but a really cool thing is how like you kind of see, I guess the same person's I guess it's technically the same person but from different viewpoints because you get like 4 or 5 actually different versions of the same person and kind of just
Yeah.
how it all at the end ties together. So I don't know. I don't really recall any time travel film that is at least done it in the way that this is done it, where we see kind of everything.
It's like the same, in essence, the same person,
Yeah, but
but like
from a different
four.
perspective. Each person has its own
There's like sort of
perspective.
four different iterations of
Yeah.
the same.
So that's really cool, just because we're able to see that in the way that they were able to get that on film and just present it to us in a way where it's very fun to watch, very entertaining, and the twist at the end it makes sense, and just like you said before, the editing, it just at the end it kind of just tied
Yeah.
everything together, and it was really well done.
I just got Primer in, so that's another time travel
Yeah.
movie that I heard based off the recommendation of Predestination. That I heard supposed to be pretty good too. So I don't know, maybe depending, we might maybe do a review on that.
Yeah, check it out.
But yeah, definitely hope you guys like Predestination as much as we did. Maybe you guys understood the plot a little bit better than we did. Let us know.
It was really cool.
Yeah, very cool. So yeah, let us know what you thought. Hopefully you liked it. And yeah, go back and there's only the Spierig Brothers second movie, so go back and watch Daybreakers because like I said, I recommend that as well. That's another fun movie. So like, subscribe, check us out, and
Comment down below.
yeah, comment down below. I'm sure you guys will, and we'll catch you soon.